Hi everybody, welcome to Kiali Sprint demo 82. Today we are going to show the version 160. So this is the agenda for today. Summary of the sprint, the highlights of this new version, the next sprint preview that will be the last of this year, and finally a community discussion where you can throw your questions. In the sprint In the Sprint 82, we have completed 24 items. 10 of them are in work in progress, and 2 in review that we expect to merge them soon. And now let's see the amazing highlights of this sprint. Now I am going to let Ike to introduce us the Gateway IP support and the traffic settings. So the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alberto. So I will share my screen. In the last sprint, the new feature added into the service wizard, which is creating the HTTP gateway via the Kubernetes Gateway API routing. So this has the same structure as the regular gateway, the wizard which we had. And it had the specific rules to Kubernetes Gateway API for matching, which is this path, which is the headers, query params, and method. So you can create the match. You can create a rule based on that match. And in advanced options, there is a new tab, Kubernetes Gateways. So you can choose to add a Kubernetes gateway. We have it. And preview it. So it will create this gateway. You can edit it, then create it. And the gateway is created. It can be edited. As you can see, this is a method is get, and this path prefix is the default path prefix which Kubernetes Gateway API is generating for all HTTP routes. Again, you can preview it. Also, gateway can be deleted. Sorry, not the gateway, but HTTP route. Something wrong on my environment. Yeah, it's working. It was some crash. So this is this feature which is added and released, and I will show you one more feature, jumping into the next slide, which is a work in progress feature, and this is about adding traffic shifting into the routing itself. So when we have several versions of service, and Kubernetes Gateway API requires to have a service per workload. The Istio Gateway API required only workloads. As you can see, it was making the traffic routing to the workloads, and it was showing the percentages of requests. So the sum of the requests should be 100%. In the contrary to it, in the Kubernetes Gateway API, it requires services to be created per workload, and based on these services, it's making the routing, and this time, these weights, they shouldn't be, the sum of the weights shouldn't be 100%. They are not percents. They are the relative weights to each other. So similarly, you can add the weights. You can select a gateway, preview it, and it's loading the services and loading the ports of these created services and creating the route to that services. So this feature is still in review. It will be released with the next version of the Kiali. It's running locally, so it takes a while to create. So here is it. Route is created. So that's it from my side. Thank you, Alberto.
Okay, thank you very much, Ike. Let me share again presentation. Okay, another feature that we did this spring is a new release of OpenSysA Mesh Console. Right. So I'll let Yosune to give us more information about it. So go ahead.
Thanks, Alberto. So the version 0.3 was releasing a new version of the OpenShift Service Mesh Console. As you can see, this is still a minor version, and this is still a version released as a developer preview. So this means that we wait for developers to give it a try, just download and just provide us feedbacks, which would be really valuable for us. And in this version, we have introduced two changes. One of them was to add in support for the new gateway API objects in the Istio configuration. This was a feature that was released in the Kiali standalone, but the Istio config is created or implemented as native, so they changed where needed to be introduced here. Directly in the plugin. So as you can see in that screenshot, now you can have a filter, but the gateway of Kubernetes and also the HTTP root objects, that in this case there's none, but in case they could be available, we can filter and also be listed. And also if we click on them, we will be redirected to the specific item in the OpenShift console. And the other feature, Alberto, if you can go to the next slide. Okay, thank you. Was to propagate the duration and the refresh parameters to all the tabs that are available in the console. So we can specify if we want, and it could be a bookmarkable URL. For when we can select our metrics in the last, for example, 5 minutes, as we can see in the screenshot. And we can also check or select the frequency where we can these metrics be refreshed. So these parameters in Kiali are also propagated in the different tabs. And this feature was introduced here also that was not available before. So if we select different parameters, there will be propagate between the overview tabs, the graphs, and also into the tabs that are inside, for example, the workloads and service mesh tabs or the services. So they were the main two changes introduced. And I will pass the mic to go back to Alberto. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Yosune. Well, other improvements that Kiali team did in this sprint are, well, we improved the control plane card with the minimum TLS version, some features in the Kiali.io repository, and from this version, the Gola version will be the 1.18, and we'll use the Istio client 1.15.2. And for the Sprint HE3 preview, as you showed during the Sprint demo, we have some items in progress that we expect to get finished in the next release, like the Gateway API support, that has shown us improvements in the RAP, some research to be able to have Kiali with no Istio connection. And the new things that we already started or soon is some research about the multi-cluster and Istio ambient. And we'll see some progress in these areas, I think, within the in the next release. And we are working in an improvement in the Kiali configuration view in the UI. And yeah, that's all for Kiali demo in this sprint. So now is the community time and discussion. So I am going to stop the sharing and recording